Good morning, everybody. This is Alex Warner. I'm the Existing Industry Project Manager for the Forsyth County Chamber of Commerce. Reason I decided to come to you guys this morning is the SBA has announced, now that Congress has cleared the second round of funding for the PPP and the EIDL loans, that tomorrow morning at April 27th at 10:30 in the morning, the applications will start going live again and funding will start flowing through. And so I wanted to give you guys a quick update, so that way if you have not already applied for either one of these programs, you can make sure that you jump into the application status, because the last money only lasted about 10 to 12 days. With the amount of applications that are currently unfunded and currently in the system now, this money probably will not last more than just a couple of days. So the sooner that you are able to get your application in and submitted and filled out correctly, the better for your business. In communications that I've had, there are 40,000 applications in Georgia alone, totaling $7.5 billion that have not been funded through the first round of funding. So there's an additional $310 billion that's going to be coming in order to fund these programs. But if you multiply that out by the other 49 states, there's not going to be much money left for new applicants. So that's why we need to get you guys into the process sooner than later. So I'm going to quickly go over a few things about the PPP and the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, just so that you are up to speed. But just be aware, if you are going to be going for the Paycheck Protection Plan loan, which will give you 8 weeks forgiveness on your average month, 2.5 times your average monthly payroll. This is to keep your people off of unemployment and on your actual payroll. This one will go through your current lender that you have a business banking account with. If for any reason your banker or your lender is not accepting applications for the PPP, please reach out to me. My contact information will be on the screen in just a minute. I will be more than happy to refer you to another local lender that is accepting PPP loans at this time. Just be aware, when the first round of PPP hit, all of the local lenders were working with their existing customers only. This changed towards the end of the process, but with the new round of funding coming in, they might be working with existing customers that did not know about the first round of funding first. So just keep that in mind. It is always recommended that you go to your existing bank first, but if they are not participating, reach out to me sooner than later so that we can make sure that we get you in the queue for another local lender that is. You can also use some of the nationwide services for the PPP, such as PayPal, Square, QuickBooks, and Cabbage. I've had a few companies that reached out that went through the process, but I don't have direct communications with anybody, any of these organizations, so I can't tell you how the process is or what information they are specifically requiring for their businesses in order to apply for this loan. But I can tell you that information from the majority of our local lenders. So if you have any of those specific questions, I'm going to go over a little bit here in this presentation. But if you have any specific questions, go to your lender's website, and it is the first thing on the homepage of almost every one of the bank's websites right now is what documentation you are going to need in order to apply for PPP funding and how to get yourself in the queue. So after you watch this video and you see what I'm telling you, make sure that you go to your existing banks or wherever you're wanting to apply for the loan so you can get their specific documentation that they're requiring as well. If you have already submitted your application for the PPP or the EIDL, you do not need to submit another application for this second round of funding. You are already in the queue. You are part of the $7.5 billion of unfunded loans that are currently out there. Don't feel down and out. Only 20% of the applicants for the PPP funding, the first round, actually have money in their bank account today. So if you're one of the 20%, feel lucky you were, but do not feel down and out if you are part of the 80%. You are in the majority. There was just so much regulation that was not clear at the beginning of this. And now that the banks have had a week and a half without accepting new applications, they've been able to get caught up. So that's why I'm saying that we need to get, if you have not submitted an application, you need to again get it in sooner than later, because the banks have now had a week and a half to catch up on all the previous applications. And they've probably been stacking up applications for people that have been that missed out on the first round of funding. So the first amount of money lasted 10 to 12 days. This money I'm not expecting to last more than 2 or 3. So please get your information in sooner than later. I do quickly want to go over, if you have already submitted an application, there is a difference between an SBA application number and an SBA loan number. The SBA loan number means that you have a designated amount of funds that's already in a little in a promissory note for your business. That means that you have money set aside for your business, and all you need to do is sign the promissory note and get the loan. If you have an SBA application number, all that means is you are in the queue and you will be funded eventually. So there's enough money in this second round of funding to fund all of the applications as long as you qualify from the first round of PPP. So don't call me wondering where your money is. I don't know, but if you have an application number, you're in the queue. If you have a loan number, then there's money designated already for your business, and you will be funded very soon. Depending on if you are going through a larger bank or a smaller community lender, the process from application to loan number vary drastically. So to try and figure out where you are, you need to contact your lender specific. But if you have a loan number, just know that you will have money within the next couple of days. Also, there is no rule saying that you cannot go to multiple lenders and say and apply for the PPP. So if you have most of your money in one of the big banks and you have an application there, but you haven't heard anything, and you want to reach out to a smaller bank and see if they can push it through faster, you absolutely can. But once you get a loan number, you must call the other lenders that you have an open application with. If you do not call the other lenders and remove and cancel your application, you will get into jeopardy and neither one of the loans will be funded. So yes, you can have multiple different sticks in the fire, so to speak, but please make sure that once you do get a loan number, in whichever way you go, that you call all of the other lenders and cancel all of the other applications. It's very important that you do this. Now, if you applied for the economic injury disaster loan, this is the one that went through the SBA.gov website. It did not go specifically through your lender. This one came directly from the SBA, and there was a promise of a $10,000 grant associated with this, whether you were approved for the economic injury disaster loan or not. This $10,000 grant was supposed to be funded within your account in 2 to 3 business days. As all of y'all that have applied know, that did not happen. It is now looking like a 2 to 3 week turnaround for you to get the grant money, and then that would start your loan process with the loan officer. And this, the exact same thing. There is a difference between your application number and an actual loan number. So do keep that in mind. And if you applied for the economic injury disaster loan before the March 30th, when they uploaded the new easy disaster loan application specifically for the COVID-19, and you would like to be considered for the grant, they are now saying that you need to go back into the website and reapply on the new application. It will not remove your old application from the queue from the actual funding, but it will give you access to the grant money if that is needed for your business. So please keep that in mind. So without further ado, I'm going to share a screen so that we can walk you through step by step, just so that all the business owners know what information is needed as soon as the SBA website goes live, so that you can submit an economic injury disaster loan. Like I said, all of the banks are a little bit different when it comes to the PPP. So you should specifically go to their website to see what it is that they're requiring from their businesses. But for the majority, it's a lot of similar information. They're needing uh, your corporate bylaws for the business. They're needing the driver's licenses of whoever's filling out the document and signing it, and the owners. They're needing a corporate tax return for your company. This can be from 2018 if you have not already filed 2019, and a profit and loss sheet for 2019 as well. And then they're going to need some sort of documentation to show your average monthly payroll for 2019. So whatever system you did for payroll, you need to be able to be able to prove what you spent on payroll, because that's how this loan is calculated. You're going to take your average month of 2019, multiply that by 2.5 times, and that will give you your loan amount through the Paycheck Protection Loan. It was a max of $10 million or the first time around, and that's what we're expecting it to be on this round as well. But just keep in mind, all owners with over 20% ownership of the business will have to have a part in filling out the application. So just so you guys are aware, before you start filling out everything, make sure that you do have everybody with 20% ownership in the room and ready to go. All right. So now I'm going to share a little screen here just so I can walk you through what the economic injury disaster loan is, and just the application. And the reason I'm going to do this is a lot of the same information is very similar to the Paycheck Protection Loan, but you can go on your lender's website right now and figure out what documentation is needed, and probably even do an application to have it ready to submit for 10:30 tomorrow morning. But the SBA has completely closed their website, so you cannot actually go in and see what the application is. So I'm going to show you what it is so that you're ready and prepared for tomorrow morning as soon as the site goes live. Okay. And you may have heard that a lot of large companies are taking advantage of all of these programs. Sure, that is a little true, but just keep in mind these loans are for small businesses with fewer than 500 employees. And again, we covered the $10,000 grant. It was originally $10,000 whether you were approved for the loan or not. They have now changed that a little bit, where now you will get $1,000 per full-time employee on your payroll, up to $10,000. So just keep that in mind. If you're a 3-person operation, the full $10,000 will not be an option for you. It will be more. It will be a $3,000 advancement. And also, there was a $2 million max for the loan amount through this disaster loan. That drastically changed towards the end of the operation, before the money ran out last time as well. It was looking more like a $15,000 to $20,000 max. So depending on where you fit into the grant, the maximum amount was looking to be about $25,000 per business. And the reason they were doing this is because they were inundated with the number of applications that were coming in. And so the 25,000 mark was their threshold, where they did not require any sort of collateral. And so it was just a much easier process to just pump through as many businesses as possible. So that's why I feel like they put that mark at the 25,000 mark, is so that they could get through as many applications as possible. And so $310 billion was just approved for the Paycheck Protection Plan. A separate $60 billion was set aside for this economic injury disaster loan. So just so you guys are aware of what's out there. All right, so this one will go directly through the SBA's website. They have kind of hidden it a little bit, so if you have trouble finding it, please reach out to me. I will send you a direct link to the application. Right now, it is down and they are not accepting applications, so there's nowhere for you to go. But as soon as the site is live, please monitor it yourself. But if you need any help, we're going to do our best to keep you up to date. But like I said, the money is not going to last long, so please keep on top of everything. So what they're going to need from you guys when you're filling out the economic injury disaster loan is the business legal name, which would be your name, and then the trade name, which would be the name of the business, your EIN, what type of organization you are, and what type of revenues you do, and your average cost of goods sold. Depending on the type of business, this number can be a little tricky, and so just walking through realtors and insurance salesmen and stuff through this where they're trying to figure out cost of goods sold, just keep in mind it can be a low number. It does not have to fluctuate as if you were like a restaurant or something like that. So it can be a pretty low number there. And then you will also need your primary address for the business. The only place that this has been tricking people up is if you're an internationally owned business. That's because these are designed to help United States small businesses, and so you must have your primary address inside of an area that's deemed a disaster area, and right now that's all 50 states of the United States. And again, put as many different ways for them to contact you on this next page and the oncoming pages. While the loan officer is looking at your application, if they have any questions, they're going to reach out to you at that time. But as everyone has already heard on the news, with companies not being able to hear back and stuff like that, if the loan officer is looking at your thing and they call you, give them as many different ways for them to do it, because who knows the next time they're going to be looking at your application. Okay, and here's where you're going to put the ownership information. I've got it filled out now for 20% ownership, but anyone with over 20% ownership of the company must fill out this application. And if you are a partnership, you must have 100% of the partnership fill out the application. So keep that in mind before you get started, and to make sure that you have everything together tomorrow as soon as this goes live, because it will not last long, I can promise you. All right. And then here where you have the U.S. citizen, this is not an automatic denial, so answer this question truthfully. You just do not want to get in trouble later on if you do not answer this truthfully. So just keep that in mind. And here at the bottom is where you will add additional ownership information if it is required for your business. Okay. If your business is owned by a business entity, there will be a box where you will need to fill out that entity's information, and this will be right here. And again, put as much contact information as possible. And if you have any questions, or you would like a copy of this presentation, or just a rough a copy of what the application was, reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to share it with you. We're just here to help, and I want everyone to be as well prepared for tomorrow morning, because this money is not going to last very long. Okay. You will then just need to certify that you have not been convicted of anything that prevents you from getting any sort of federal grant. And this is where, if you would like to be considered for the $10,000 advance, remember, up to $10,000 advance now. This is where you would put in your banking information. They still have not said that it's not a 2 to 3 day advance program, but I have heard from most every business that's applied from this through Forsyth County, and it is a 2 to 3 week. So just keep that in mind. The PPP funds seem to be going a lot faster through the lenders. So just keep in mind, both of these are going live tomorrow. You are more than welcome to apply for both. Depending on your type of business, you can only apply for one over the other. And if you have any questions regarding that, we've done many webinars that are currently on the Together for FOCO webpage under business resources. please revert back to many of those. Or if you have a specific question about your business, please reach out to me. I will be more than happy to help. Okay. After you certify everything is truthful, you are ready to submit the application. And so again, you are now up to date on what the SBA will be requiring of you to fill out the economic injury disaster loan. And if you have any questions about what your specific lender is requiring for the PPP loan, please go to their specific website so that you can see exactly what it is that they are requiring. And if your lender is not accepting applications or is not participating in the program, my contact information is on the screen now. Please reach out to me. I will be more than happy to get you a referral to one of our community lenders that is participating and is working with non-customers at this time. If you have any questions, please, I'm here for you. And good luck, everybody. And I hope that everything goes smoothly tomorrow morning. Thank you.